With the newest season underway, it's easy to say that Rick and Morty has quickly become one of the best adult animated shows on TV right now. Not only is it totally hilarious and mostly improvised, it's got a surprisingly deep and complex plot. And naturally, with any show involving time travel or dimension hopping, several theories have come up about alternate realities. But this one is probably the biggest. Is the Morty we know and love not Rick's first Morty? Could Rick's original Morty actually be evil Morty? For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, Rick and Morty is an Adult Swim show created by Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon. The show follows the crazy misadventures of super scientist and alcoholic Rick, who comes to live with his daughter's family after skipping out on them 20 years ago. Rick immediately bonds with his wimpy teenage grandson, Morty, and recruits him to be the Marty McFly to his Doc Brown. Rick and Morty spend their days traveling through alternate dimensions and universes, usually causing more harm than good. Rick's backstory is crazy, confusing, and most notably, very vague. We have almost no idea of what Rick was doing before he returned to the Earth dimension of C-137. So naturally, this sparked a lot of conspiracies in the Rick and Morty fandom. This particular theory stems from the episode Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind, in which Rick and Morty are accused of crimes against alternate Ricks, where they are then arrested and taken through an interdimensional portal to the Council of Ricks, which is made up of every Rick from every dimension with their own unique Morty. The pair spends the majority of the episode trying to find out who is killing off these Ricks to kidnap their Mortys. At the end of the episode, it's revealed that Evil Rick, who was their main suspect, was actually being controlled by Evil Morty. Now, who is Evil Morty really? And how has one Morty, out of infinite realities and universes, become a hyper-intelligent mastermind with a deep hatred for Ricks? Especially the Rick we know from dimension C-137. Why, out of infinite Ricks, does he pick this Rick to frame for his crimes, download his brain contents, and then murder? Well, it could be that Evil Morty was Rick C-137's original Morty. This would explain why Evil Morty has such a personal vendetta against Rick. But Evil Morty is like straight up evil. What could have happened to him that made him want to murder all of the Ricks in all of the universe? Well, some believe that Evil Morty, or Rick's original Morty, was abandoned, which we can actually see in the show's title sequence. Yeah, in that quick second, Rick jumps into a portal and Morty is left to fend for himself in an unknown dimension, building up quite possibly the biggest grudge ever against his grandfather. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense until you realize that at the beginning of the series, it stated that Rick has been absent from his family for 20 years, and Morty is only 14. So there's no way Rick could have any memories of this Morty. But in Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind, we see Rick get teary-eyed over a memory of Morty as a baby. How is that possible if he never knew him as a baby? Unless it was a different Morty. A Morty he left on some planet many, many years ago. Another idea suggests that Evil Morty is actually the reason Rick constantly berates this Morty. It kind of seems like he's purposefully making Morty stupid, because in the dimension where Rick was probably a good grandfather, he taught Morty too much, making Morty too smart and too cocky, ultimately transforming him into Evil Morty. So could the Morty we know and love actually just be a replacement? And could Rick's original Morty be out to erase all Ricks from existence? With a show that has dozens of different universes and multiple dimensions, a conspiracy like this might be tough to solve. But thankfully, this isn't our first rodeo. The theory of this Morty being version 2.0 isn't entirely impossible. Towards the end of Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind, Rick says, "Bad things happen with a cocky Morty. I'll tell you when you're older." And then it cuts to Evil Morty. So it seems more likely that Evil Morty, Rick's original Morty, is the baby in Rick's memory. It's possible that the guilt from what he did to Evil Morty many years ago, what ultimately turned this Morty evil, is what made Rick tear up. It also explains why Rick got so emotional when Evil Rick said all Mortys are replaceable. Because to this Rick, they definitely aren't. It's funny, for being such a crude show, this theory is actually really sweet. And with the newest season well underway, I think we still have a lot to learn about the crazy Rick and Morty universe. So, on the plausibility meter, I give the Rick and Morty conspiracy 4 Aberdolf Linklers out of 5. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video to catch a preview for next week's episode and catch up on any episodes you might have missed. In the comments, let me know what you guys thought of this conspiracy and if you agree or disagree with how I rated it. Make sure you subscribe to Channel Frederator, and I'll see you guys next week. Dust off your Converse, it's time to save the universe. Or maybe just learn more about the solar system, or even the human body. Either way, you get the point. You're going to travel to some insane place, go on some crazy adventure, and ultimately, learn something. Doctor Who and the Magic School Bus have quite a lot in common if you think about it. Seriously. A main character who is equal parts wacky and eccentric, that loves to teach people about the wonders of the universe. They both travel in a magical vehicle that can take them back in time or through space. And they both love to keep companions around. So, could Miss Frizzle actually be a Time Lord like the Doctor?